Hey guys, Josh from DealMachine here, and today I want to give you guys a few quick words on getting a hold of sellers. Now, everyone knows, and DealMachine's a really big part of this. Like, direct mail is something that's worked for a really, really long time, and it's something that continues to work. However, it's still a very costly medium to get a hold of sellers at scale and at volume consistently. Most importantly, follow-up is incredibly consistent. We tell people an absolute minimum of 3 mailers per property that you're adding in a DealMachine if you're going to use direct mail to try to get a hold of them. In reality, that's the absolute, again, it's the absolute minimum that you should be looking at. I build most of our enterprise level campaigns at a 7 to 12 total touch points over somewhere between 12 and 24 months of time to get a hold of these sellers. We know that's a distressed property lead is a property that if they come to a selling point in their life, they have to get rid of that property for whatever reason, they're going to need to go through a non-traditional option or invest a bunch of cash themselves into the property before they can throw it on the market and sell it to a traditional retail type buyer. And so that's why follow-up is so important with direct mail. It's not just, hey, we know this property is distressed. We know when this seller needs to sell, they can't sell traditionally, which is why the follow-up process is so important with direct mail, regardless of owner type, or regardless of the motivation type, but particularly with driving for dollars because of that specific event. It's not a specific thing that we know about the property, or at least about the seller, that's indicating a short-term seller scenario. So we need to be in front of them. So whenever that event happens, we're ready to do it. So follow-up, critically important with direct mail. But again, it takes time to get to that point. Now, how can you get to the conversations faster? And at the very least, begin building the relationship right away so that you guys are top of mind whenever that selling moment comes for the actual property owner. And skip tracing the property owner, we have our enhanced search built in, or you can always do a bulk skip trace with somebody else. Skip tracing gives you that phone number to try to get a hold of those property owners by phone call, by texting, RVMs, if you want to try those out. There's some legal limitations to think about and all those things, but doing what people don't is how you get results faster that other people aren't getting. And so if other people aren't willing to take the time to do the phone call, to do the SMS and follow up, they're not going to get the same results that they could if they did those things. And so think about how you can differentiate. And really what it comes down to is doing things that other people aren't willing to do. Things like calling again, leaving the voicemail, being pleasant, and being as helpful as possible by reaching out proactively is a really, really good, effective way. Another critical way to do that, go get out of the car and knock on their door, knock on a neighbor's door and say, hey, what do you know about this house? It looks potentially vacant, or it looks like whoever owns it hasn't been taking care of it. Can you explain to me why or what you know about that property? And maybe it's an owner I could help. Again, doing things that people don't, knocking on doors, having conversations, talking to people as much as possible is a way to accelerate the time to the real critical conversation of making an offer on the property. And so that's my best advice. Commit to direct mail. Don't do direct mail if your budget only allows for one mailer. Commit to doing the skip trace and cold call, and then all of a sudden all of your follow-ups are way cheaper because you're doing a medium where you only paid for that phone number once. The follow-ups from there don't cost you anything. It's just a matter of your time as opposed to paying for a new mailer each and every time. And so again, direct mail, repeat it minimum of 3 times. 7 to 12 is ideal, over ideally a 12 to 24 month process. And if that's not sustainable, or if you're just not getting to the results fast enough that you want, pick up the phone, skip trace and call them, pick up the phone, send a text message, or go knock on their doors to try to start those conversations as fast as possible. Do what others don't. And that's the best way to accelerate your timeline to your first deal, to your second deal, and to building momentum to build your business.